Hello everybody and welcome back to SFF180. Thomas here, your host. As always, it is the 17th of April and time once again for the mailbag. As you know, I hope you guys have had a lovely past week. Those of you who celebrate Easter and Good Friday and all of those attendant holidays, I hope you have had a very lovely holiday. And otherwise, we have a pretty, I'd say, average week in terms of volume for the mailbag this week. 7 packages. So don't really have very many announcements except to say, at long last, some well overdue reviews hitting the channel this week, so be sure and check those out. Stay tuned for those. And yeah, otherwise, let's not waste any more time, shall we? Let's see what's in these envelopes. A lot of them this week seem to be from Harpercollins, so let's see what we're going to start out with this time. Well, this looks kind of neat. Starting off pretty well for those of us who like space opera. This is a book called Numenon. The author is Marina J. Lostetter. And apparently this is her first novel, debut novel after a string of short stories, apparently, around and about. This comes out on August the 1st, and she says about it that this is her big dumb object story. And she has always loved big dumb objects, you know, like Rendezvous with Rama and stuff like that. Big dumb objects. In space. Okay, let's see. So the sell sheet goes on about how Harper Voyager is bringing a lot of new talent into the industry, and including quite a lot of new women writers. They talk a lot about that. And then it says, oh, finally, here we go with the synopsis. In 2088, Earth is ready to explore the stars beyond our solar system. The only question is where to go. Astrophysicist Reggie Strafer has an idea. An anomalous star that appears to defy physics, weird natural phenomenon, or something manufactured. The journey will take generations, but asking the world's best and brightest to leave behind everything they've known and loved proves to be too much. And so, Convoy 7 will be populated by clones. Clones with specific tasks, chosen, engineered, and trained to live in perfect harmony, to be born again and again in their centuries-long journey to discover what lies beyond the limits of human knowledge. Okay, so far that's 6 weeks. Sounds like 6 weeks without the murders. Readers will be thrilled by this innovative space tale. Perhaps some of the thunder has been stolen from this story's premise by some other books, but at the same time, I like the whole big dumb object thing. I like that this is, you know, again, we're going to see some familiar tropes and some familiar elements, as we always do with these kinds of stories. But the idea is, what's the ultimate payoff, and how does this particular story unfold? And again, you can always draw me in with the promise of a really interesting space operas. So, I don't know, I think this looks pretty neat. It's called Numenon, from Marina J. Lostetter on August the 1st. Let me know in the comments. And what do we have next? We have, oh, this is this one is Random Penguin. Okay. Alright then, this one is kind of unexpected. This is by Jenna Rhodes. It's called The Queen of Storm and Shadow. It's from Daw Books. This is not an ARC, it's a finished copy, so I imagine it is coming out very, very soon. And this is the final volume in a 4-part series called The Elven Ways, which has been one of those series where the individual volumes have been released over such a long span of time. I'm not entirely sure how many people will recall. Let's see, there's no sell sheet, of course, but yeah, let's see. The first book was The Four Forges, which I think may have come out in like 2009, and then there was The Dark Ferryman, which I have, King of Assassins, which I have, and I have all of these bundled away. I think some of them may be in storage after the move, but, well, it looks like she has finally wrapped it up. But anyway, it's described as the world of Karith has reached a pivotal moment in its history as rival factions are forced to band together against both known enemies and an unexpected invasion force. Life, death, and the elemental gods have awakened in the lands of Karith after a cataclysmic collision with Travalka, the legendary world that is home to Valinor ambition, lies, and magic. So as you see, it is that kind of epic fantasy, and this is now the final one. So The Queen of Storm and Shadow from Daw Books. Something from Saga, probably. And it is very exciting. This is the finished copy now of Tremontaine. This is the bind-up edition of the Shared World, Shared World series by Ellen Kushner, which is sort of a prequel to all of her Swords Point novels and all of the subsequent novels. And this was done initially by Serial Box in installments. And then now Saga has bound it up. And let's see all of the different authors who contribute to this once again. Ella Kushner, Alea Dawn Johnson, nice, Melinda Lowe. And then some folks that I don't know. Joel Durfner, Patty Bryant, Racheline Maltese, don't know. Paul Whitcover, I've heard of him. Okay. But all right then. Tremontaine at last arrives from Saga Press on May the 2nd. And moving down the line, we have what looks like another Harper title. And it's the finished copy of The Dastardly Miss Lizzie. This is by Viola Carr, and this appears to be the final volume in her trilogy, Electric Empire. These are steampunk retellings of sort of famous characters from, say, Robert Louis Stevenson and folks like that. So the first 2 volumes were The Diabolical Miss Hyde and The Devious Dr. Jekyll, and now we have The Dastardly Miss Lizzie. And it says, series is a feminist steampunk retelling of Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But what makes The Dastardly Miss Lizzie truly shine is Carr's unique voice, gritty and smart, but dripping with encyclopedic knowledge of the Victorian era. The hook to this retelling of Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is compelling. What if Dr. Jekyll had a daughter with the same affliction? What if she were a police doctor solving crimes that her alter ego might have committed? Taking the supernatural elements of Stevenson's original novella one step further, Carr has electrified Victorian London and created a rich, dark, and sometimes scary cityscape. The writing is immersive, transporting you to a gritty universe, showing the good as well as the bad. Carr has populated her world with unique, unlikely, and enormously fascinating characters that make this read engrossing and addictive. Okay, and so this one is out, actually, tomorrow, the 18th, from Harper Voyager, The Dastardly Miss Lizzie. And just a few more to go here. This is one from, the folks at Blackstone. Okay, interesting. And it's a nice little box. Let's see what we got. All right, this is a book called Helldivers 2, Ghosts. Comes out July the 18th. This is the 2nd volume in something called the Helldivers trilogy. I think I am unacquainted with Helldivers 1, whatever it was. But let's see what it's all about. Clearly appears to have an apocalyptic flair here. 10 years ago, Helldiver Xavier X. Rodriguez fell to Earth. Those he left behind, went on without him aboard the airship he once called home. Michael Everhart, the boy once... Well, maybe I'm spoiling things. Who cares? The boy once known as Tin has grown into a man and the commander of Helldiver Raptor Team. While Michael dives to help keep the hive in the air, Captain Leon Jordan rules with an iron fist at the helm of the ship, but unrest stirs under his strict leadership as a prophecy of hope sweeps the lower decks. Okay. So I guess they're in an airship for whatever reason, because they have to be for humanity to survive whatever apocalypse has happened down below. But one poor bastard has fallen out of it, and he's on Earth now and having to deal with that, I guess. So, all right. Another heart-pounding thriller in Helldivers 2 Ghosts. As I said, out July the 18th. Has anybody read the first one? Let me know in the comments. All right, we're moving on down, second to last one, and this one is from Random Penguin. Feels like a new hardcover. It is a new hardcover. Well, newish, actually. This one's been out a while. Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually contacted them about this one. That's why. This came out March the 7th. It's a book called The Night Ocean. The author is Paul Lafarge. It says, inspired by the lives of H.P. Lovecraft and his circle, a riveting novel about secret scandals, psychiatry, and pulp fiction. And, well, this one has a kind of an interesting premise, because it's based on fact. It says it's a riveting, intricately plotted historical tour de force. Psychiatrist Marina Willett has a problem. Her husband Charlie is obsessed with the life of legendary horror writer H.P. Lovecraft, in particular with one mysterious episode. In the summer of 1934, the old gent lived for 2 months with a young fan named Robert Barlow and his family in Central Florida. That's true, by the way. Lovecraft was 43 years old that summer, and Barlow was only 16. What were the two of them up to? Were they friends or something more? Just when Charlie thinks he's solved the puzzle, a scandal erupts and he disappears. The police say it's suicide, but Marina doesn't believe them. She pieces together Charlie's trail in an attempt to uncover the truth about Lovecraft, Barlow, and what exactly her husband found. As Marina pursues Charlie's path, the Night Ocean moves across the decades and along the length of the continent, from a remote Ontario town through New York and Lovecraft's native Providence to Mexico City. Along the way, Lafarge explores the lives of some extraordinary people. Lovecraft, the most influential American horror writer of the 20th century, whose stories continue to win new acolytes, even as his racist views provoke new critics. Barlow, a seminal scholar of Mexican culture who killed himself after being blackmailed for his homosexuality, and who collaborated with Lovecraft on the beautiful story from which this novel takes its title. His student, future beat writer William S. Burroughs. Roy Cohn, the Futurians, a group of brilliant young science fiction writers including Isaac Asimov, and L.C. Spinks, a kindly Canadian appliance salesman and science fiction fan, the only person who knows the origins of the Erotonomicon, a book that may or may not be the intimate diary of Lovecraft himself. Okay, so, yeah, interesting piece of, I guess, speculative fiction. I don't know if I buy, necessarily the premise that, there may have been something going on between, Lovecraft and this young protege of his. The impression I get of Lovecraft, I mean, despite the fact, yeah, he was married to Sonia Green for a little while, she speaks in a kind of guarded, polite way about, what he was like as a husband, but the impression I get of him was that he was not very much into personal intimacy at all, really. May even have been asexual, aromantic, but very much not a person, who would probably be, given to whatever lusts people might want to try to impose upon him. Didn't seem like that kind of character to me. But that doesn't mean that there could not be interesting speculative fiction about, real people and real history and this sort of thing. So The Night Ocean by Paul Lafarge is out right now. So let me know in the comments. Okay, and finally, the end of that, we end up with a white envelope. So we'll see what's in here. And, well, if you're a fan, I guess this is cute. This is a second book novelizing this TV series, The Librarians, which some of you have told me that you watch and you kind of enjoy, but this is called The Librarians and the Mother Goose Chase. And the author is Greg Cox, and so I guess it follows the adventures of the librarians as they hunt down and mercilessly slaughter people with late books. Right? That is what the series is about, because that would certainly get me to watch. Definitely. Okay. But anyway, this will be out from Tor on April the 25th. So there you are. And that's all we got for this week in the mailbag, everybody. As usual, you know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting, exciting to you, what you want to see me prioritize for review. And otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all your SFF reading friends, and above all, please sub if you haven't done so. That's how the channel grows. You can also support SFF180 at its TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where a bunch of lovely people have pitched in, gone above and beyond to help maintain the channel, and I very much appreciate those folks' support, just as I appreciate all of you for watching. And otherwise, until next time, yeah, read happily,